Okay, so we talked about why we are doing the project and captured that in the project charter. Then we created the stakeholder register which contains the name and information for all key people in the project. Then we talked about the scope and quality of the project. And for the scope, we created the work breakdown structure. And then we used that work breakdown structure, we turned it into a list, we added the activities, the durations, relationships, and created the start and finish date, which is our schedule. Now, the next thing that we can do is to think about the cost of our project. And to do that, we can use the same list here. It's very easy, well, easy to say. That's simple, not easy. So we have the activities and we can go on and estimate the cost of each activity. And then we can roll up that information and get the cost of each building element of our product and ultimately the whole project. That's the other domain that we have in the PMBOK guide, cost management. All right. What else do we have here? You know, when you think about the cost, it depends on many different things, obviously. For example, how quickly you're going to do the project. What's the level of quality that is expected from the project? The other thing that can impact it is your build or buy decisions. You're probably going to do some parts of the project yourself and outsource some other parts, or maybe you're going to buy it off the shelf or other things. These are all covered in a domain called procurement. In the procurement domain, we make the decision if it's a good idea to do it ourselves or buy it from somewhere else, which impacts the cost and everything else, also time and quality, everything. And then throughout the project, when the procurement item is being done, we will monitor it, we will supervise it and make sure then that it is okay. And sometimes, yet when we are working in our projects, some things may happen that we don't expect. One thing that really impacted me in one of the projects was that it was a construction project, and one day one of the workers fell down and he died. It's a serious thing. So when it happened, I started thinking about everything that we could do to prevent it from happening, because we are thinking about someone's life. This is important. And that's one of the aspects. There are other things as well. For example, we can lose a lot of money. We can lose our reputation. And if we want to wait until something happens, that's too late. We have to think about all those things beforehand and think about solutions for that. So that is something that we call a risk, as you can guess, probably. And a risk is something that may happen in the future. It's not certain. And if it happens, it will impact the project somehow. Now, if you think about that person who can fall off the building, that's a risk because it's not for sure. It may happen. And if it happens, then it will impact us. What would you do to prevent that? How would you manage this risk? Some of the things that you may think about is to build temporary handrails. The other thing is to have a health and safety program to teach people how to work in order to prevent accidents. Maybe we can change our schedule somehow to make sure that the external walls are built as soon as possible, because when we have the walls, then people won't be able to fall down. And all of these can reduce the probability of that risk happening, but still maybe the risk happens. And in that case, when it's about a person, besides the fact that it's terrible to lose a person, the other impact is that we will lose a lot of money to cover the damages. And to prevent that impact, we can insure the project against accidents. So you see that we can think of different things, different responses to this risk, and each of them we'll improve it in a certain way, in a different way. And it's usually best to have a combination of them. And what do we do with them? They are like activities. We will put them in our list. And then when we do that, we have to go back, we have to estimate their durations, redesign the dependencies, get a new schedule, and also estimate their cost and consider it in everything else. Maybe we want to change our procurement, for example, to reduce some of the risks. All right, that's enough for now, and I'm going to end this lesson with one question. We usually say in the community that the project manager should spend about 90% of their time on something. What do you think should go there?